Human beings often imagine themselves as primarily rational, but the mind is frequently driven first by emotional needs and only secondarily by the search for truth. People seek security, belonging, meaning, certainty, purpose, and relief from fear or confusion. Knowledge often serves these needs rather than directing them. This tendency becomes especially visible in the formation of cults and other closed belief systems, where emotional satisfaction gradually becomes more important than accurate understanding of reality. Cults rarely begin because people consciously desire falsehood. More often, they emerge when individuals experience loneliness, anxiety, uncertainty, trauma, or a lack of meaning. A charismatic leader, ideology, or movement then offers certainty, purpose, belonging, and identity. The emotional reward arrives immediately, while careful examination of the claims remains secondary. Once a belief system becomes a source of emotional stability, the mind begins to protect it. Instead of asking whether a belief is true, a person unconsciously begins asking whether it can be preserved. Doubt becomes threatening because it risks disturbing emotional comfort. Criticism feels like an attack not merely on an idea, but on the self. The belief ceases to be an external proposition and becomes psychologically fused with identity. This fusion is a defining feature of cult psychology. In healthy reasoning, people can revise or abandon beliefs without feeling personally destroyed. In cult-like thinking, however, challenging the belief feels like challenging the person. The result is defensiveness, hostility toward critics, and an increasing inability to evaluate evidence objectively. At the same time, emotional experiences begin to substitute for evidence. Feelings of belonging, excitement, transcendence, or moral certainty are interpreted as proof that the ideology is true. Rituals, slogans, emotional testimonies, and group reinforcement strengthen this association. The individual gradually learns to equate emotional intensity with truth. What feels powerful is assumed to be correct. As emotional investment grows, information is no longer used to correct beliefs, but to protect them. Supporting evidence is welcomed, while contradictory evidence is dismissed, reinterpreted, or condemned. Critics become enemies, and disagreement becomes proof of persecution or hidden truth. The belief system develops a self-sealing quality in which no possible evidence can count against it. The social structure of the cult strengthens this process. Friends, purpose, morality, and identity become concentrated within the group. Leaving then feels like losing not merely an opinion, but an entire world. The emotional cost of questioning the belief becomes so high that preserving it appears easier than confronting uncertainty. One reason cults are attractive is that false certainty is often more emotionally satisfying than genuine knowledge. Reality is usually complex, ambiguous, and incomplete. Cults offer simple explanations, absolute moral categories, and reassuring certainty. Faced with a choice between emotionally difficult truth and emotionally satisfying certainty, many minds naturally gravitate toward the latter. This process should not be mistaken for stupidity. Intelligence alone offers little protection because the underlying vulnerabilities are emotional rather than intellectual. Loneliness, fear, wounded pride, social exclusion, and the desire for significance affect intelligent people as much as anyone else. In some cases, intelligence merely provides better rationalizations for preserving false beliefs. At its deepest level, cult formation reflects a failure to balance emotional needs with disciplined inquiry. Human beings require meaning, belonging, hope, and purpose. The problem arises when these needs become detached from mechanisms that correct error. When emotional satisfaction becomes the highest value and truth becomes secondary, the mind becomes vulnerable to increasingly distorted interpretations of reality. Certainty is then prized over understanding, loyalty over evidence, and emotional comfort over truth.